Reflecting on the cultural ball has been really beautiful for a lot of reasons. Thinking about something that goes from a big grand idea, a vision, uh, fleets of people supporting, bringing it to life, and then actually seeing it happen is incredible. So, for me, looking at what we set out to do was celebrate a legacy of 20 years, to celebrate a community that has served this state, the Des Moines metro area, largely for 20 years. It felt incredible. It felt like we did something no one else has done. It felt like we came up with a way to bring people together that was new and exciting and inventive. And all that we asked people to do is show up in a way that feels best to them, being who they are as authentically as possible, and sharing their traditions through art. So why a ball? It allowed us to honor and pay these performing artists for their incredible talent. It allowed us to offer ambassadors and others in the network an opportunity to see each other showcase their skills. And it also gave us an opportunity to invite people to participate in something new through the art of dancing. So while there were performances, there were also dance lessons, and this sort of inspired people to get out of their comfort zone in smaller pockets and effectively come back together and try something new for the first time together. We worked to create an atmosphere that allowed us to demonstrate what's possible when people of all backgrounds, identities, traditions come together. We know that we see culture in a lot of ways. Most often, first thing we see is clothing. We see what people are wearing. We might draw a connection or an association with that pattern, that print, that style of garment. We then often connect through food. We know which restaurants are our favorite. We know what we order from the menus. We know which foods we might be willing to eat and others that we might be a little too shy to try. So we know that these are two ways that we recognize culture in our societies. We also recognize culture through performing arts and all sorts of varieties of art. Really, the idea was that from the moment you were on the premises, you were immersed in something unlike anywhere else you'd ever been and anything else you'd ever seen, on a scale that broke those boundaries of fair and festival environments, where we could feel glamorous and we could feel engaged and we could feel excited about what we're wearing and who to share with, where we purchased that item, what the process was for us in getting ready for the day. The concept was, how many layers of opportunity to both experience and engage with each other can we create in a few short hours? So when you start with a concept such as a ball, where it's an experience like nothing else, you need someone to bring the vision to life. We have our full-time jobs at CultureALL. We are working every day to bring programs into classrooms, community spaces, libraries, corporate boardrooms, you name it. And so obviously that's not enough time to also plan an entire event. It's done through the hard work and dedication of volunteers. We were truly blessed to have some folks step in and step up very early on in the process to support finalizing the vision. So that's where it begins. And then leading committees along the way. So who's handling that fashion element? Who's handling that food element? Who's handling the space that we will enter and be in? Where are we going? How many of us can it hold? What are all the rules? And what does the contract say? Once we get there, we want it to look and feel a certain way. And so to have that feeling of this welcoming, vibrant space, we needed someone running the decor side of things as well. And I mean, you can imagine there's a lot of conversations. Of course, we're working toward entertainment, which requires stages and sound and other visuals. We needed someone to support the storyline through graphic design and through messaging. So a handful of folks, dedicated community members from several different sectors came together, took their charge in their lanes, and drove home what we couldn't have ever have imagined would turn out to be such a beautiful experience for everyone. Performers at the Cultural Ball were a combination of new community friends and partners, as well as those who have been performing with CultureALL for many years. It was put together in a way that we wanted to make sure we had as much global representation as possible while also leaning the hardest into the existing network. So there were lots of ways for culture to be represented throughout the evening. We've talked about fashion, we've talked about food, we've talked about the global bazaar where folks are represented. And so performances really were just another layer of representation. There are folks who, like RJ Hernandez, who's in a mariachi band. He also has served as an ambassador for 20 years. Cucho Madero plays Peruvian pan flutes. He has served as an ambassador for over 15 years. Pragnya Yogesh, also serving the organization for over 15 years, runs the Ashanjali Dance Academy, where she's not just a brilliant performer herself, she also teaches students in the community so that those things that are so personal to her continue to carry on. So there are so many to go through and mention, but it was a collaborative network effort to say, how do we, again, represent the globe here in Iowa, the globe that is Iowa for Iowa, and allow people to see this vibrant talent that exists in our community. Two big goals for the Cultural Ball. One was to celebrate a milestone of 20 years, lift up the ambassadors, performing artists, the community all around. The second was to actually actively build community. We chose to do that by partnering with some other organizations and associations, including One Voice Des Moines, the Nepali Association, the Thai Association, and the Iowa Latino Heritage Association. We offered to each of them to either bring in vendors of or from their community to sell their goods or sell their own products, fundraise for their own missions, bring awareness, and make new friends. And for us, that was an essential part of what it means to cultivate collaboration in communities. We need those introductions first. So knowing that many of these folks would not occupy the same space without it being created, it was a really key piece in building that atmosphere and also building community. The Cultural Ball demonstrated for all of us that whether you're a member of the past, the present, or the future of the organization, that this work still matters. This is still relevant. To find ways to access new learning that's authentic and true, that's unique to each individual perspective. It gave us inspiration to what is possible when we come together. It gave us hope that we will continue to create spaces where all stories are welcome to be shared, where authenticity is key, and that people are able and ready and willing to show up as they are, who they are every day. Thank you to every single contributor who made this very special milestone, a 20-year anniversary celebration, possible.